General ideas. Who do you think's going to win? You know, the advantages of one or the other. What are your general thoughts?
You know, I think Leon Edwards is a big favorite in that fight.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, those odds, man, I might even take a shot. I mean, for Ben wise, I might throw some money down on Diaz. He's always got a shot.
Yes, he does.
I'm banging him, and he's tough, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count him out yet. You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What does Leon Edwards need to do to like counter Nate's output, that pressure that he always does? Because you've had guys that try to pressure on you and stuff like that. You've made the pay, like Babalu being one of them and stuff like that. To make use of his speed advantages, his power advantages while he's pressuring and putting out a lot of shots, these jabs, these soft and hard jabs. What does Leon need to do?
Yeah, he needs to be accurate. Just throw some accurate, sharp punches, sharp combinations.
Yeah.
And you said make him pay for coming at you. If he keeps coming forward, you can't. Don't let him keep walking you down. Make him, pivot off and make him turn corners and make him really chase you if you want to chase him. But you got to turn corners. Don't walk straight back and just let him chase you around the ring. Just make some sharp turns. Make a few sharp turns and make some counters in there and make him pay for chasing you.
And they always say, there's always that saying, earning respect. Like you throw that kind of punch that earns your opponent, earns your respect, and they can't rush in. Is that something important early in the fight? Like maybe it's not footwork and movement. Like you want to hit him with that solid one, and that sets the stage the rest of the fight. Like they can't rush in.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends. I mean, for me, later in my career, I had the reputation of it, so I really didn't have to do it as much. But early on in my career, even especially when I was kickboxing, when I first started kickboxing, John would say, "Go out there and I want you your first thing to put big right hand as hard as you can.
Okay.
I don't care if you hit him in the arm, I don't care where you hit, shoulder, anywhere. I want him to know how hard that's coming at him, and that what that does is that gives you an extra 6 inches. It gives you like okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me back up here a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's and it makes them think a little bit more before every time they come in when they know how hard you hit. If you have that.
General thoughts on Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards. Like, who are you picking? What do you think about that fight?
I've trained with the Diaz brothers since like 2012 when Nick was training for GSP, and I love those guys. They're always guys I'm gonna look up to in the fight game and just their knowledge overall, and the way that they train, and they train super hard. They're always training all the time. They're always in shape. I just love their mentality going into fights. They're the ones that define kill or be killed, and that's the way that that's the way they are. But they're super technical too. So, don't get me wrong. Leon has power. He's got speed. He's got good striking. But when it comes down to, just toughness and good boxing, good traditional boxing, and great jiu-jitsu, it's Nate takes the cake on that. I mean, he's may not be as fast as Leon. He may get caught with some fast, powerful shots, but we know he can take a punch. I mean, he's taken punches from the best of them and kept fighting through it. And the only reason he got stopped against Masvidal was because of the cut, and it was New York commission. So, I mean, when you break it down, Diaz is as tough as they come. He's very skilled. I think the speed and power may be the only thing that that Leon brings that could give Nate trouble.
Yeah.
So, but I'm always going to be a Diaz guy. I love the Diaz brothers, and I just like their style of fighting. They're never going to back down from anybody, and they're always you're going to be in a fight no matter who you are when you fight one of the Diaz brothers. So, so I'm sure Leon Edwards is ready to be in a fight, but I don't think he's fought anybody like Nate Diaz. Honestly, he's just a unique guy to have to fight. The timing on his boxing it's not super explosive or fast, but it doesn't stop. You're just getting pop, 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 pop the whole time. It's always in your face, always pressuring. I mean, they're really good at what they do well. They do very well. And so I'm always going to be pulling for Nate and Nick. But yeah, that's pretty much That's pretty much what I think. I think, you know, Nate's got the ability in a 5-round fight to definitely take him into deep water and beat him. The only time that I think he can get hurt is early in the fight when Leon is. And don't get me wrong, Leon's in great shape. He always seems like he comes in great shape, but the Diaz brothers just have that triathlon cardio that you can't really teach.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the unique style that they have, because that's the other question I was going to ask. In that a lot of Leon's fights, he's won by decision. He can outpoint people. He's a good striker in that kind of way. But both of them are kind of on long layoffs. People always bring up, layoffs and ring rust and those kind of things. But since you know Nate so well, and you mentioned that popping jab kind of style, the output, the pressure he has, is his style kind of like a style that is almost like ring rust proof, or it's always layoff proof, and that, you know, and is it a style that can overcome a points fighter or really diverse striker, kind of like he did with Anthony Pettis? A lot of people thought Anthony Pettis was going to beat him. He's got too much variety. Is Nate's style like that pressure and everything? Is it like you can just plug and play at any time and layoffs don't affect him?
Yeah, I think it's because they're always training. They're never really taking a layoff. Yeah. I mean, they're always doing something. I mean, being in the cage in a fight is obviously different from being in the gym in a fight, but their mentality is just always training. Like, they're always working, they're always improving. So I honestly don't think that would be the issue for Nate. And the in-your-face pressure and the mentality that they have is it can't really be taught. I think it's just something that they've had instilled in them. And obviously Richard Perez, their boxing coach, has probably instilled the pressure and the pace and the amount of punch output that they can put in a fight is not, I don't really know anybody else that puts that kind of, at any weight class, really. I mean, I know there's guys that throw a lot of punches, but I mean, even with Holloway throwing a ton of punches and having pinpoint accuracy, I think Nate just, Nate is a blueprint for that type of pressure and pace.